So, what are we doing today? Well, as you can see at the bottom here, there is a new video by a content creator called Padilla. I'm not very familiar with his work. The only thing that I have ever seen of this person is, I think they were originally part of there's like a skit channel. Oh, and I remember I saw a few videos by them way back in the day. They used to be really popular, but I have not seen this person in years, and just all of a sudden they were in my trending and my like recommended, because they made a very anti-DPRK video, it seems, and I've seen a lot of people talk about it, so I have not watched a minute of it, so I don't know what to expect. I did check the links in the description of the video while I pulled it up for the stream, and we will take a look at the defectors he's apparently promoting in this video, but we'll see. Okay, and well, here, let's just I wonder what kind of video this is gonna be based on the thumbnail. They're true stories. I guess we'll see. But yeah, so today we're gonna be taking a look at Anthony Padilla's new video, sitting down with the defectors, and also after that, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be good or bad, but depending on how I feel afterwards, we might also check out 50-50 on either we're gonna watch John Oliver's North Korea video, like from years ago, or last month there were some children who did a podcast, like a full like hour-long podcast about me, just like psychoanalyzing my Twitter. And I did a little response on here, but they apparently did a follow-up eventually, so I haven't taken a peek at that either, but I don't know, I'm 50-50 on John Oliver or some little kids who are, I guess, like obsessed with me. But okay, so I think we're gonna go ahead and start this Anthony Padilla video. Yes, okay. Here we go. Shabam. Okay. Alright, here goes nothing.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Visit betterhelp.com/Padilla because sometimes existing is exhausting. My name's Anthony Padilla, and today I'll be spending a day with North Korean defectors to learn the truth about being born in a country with a severe and isolated dictatorship, the lengths they went to escape, and...
Wait, what's this video of someone jumping out of a window of like an apartment building? What the fuck?
The struggles of...
And like, wait, is that like... Wait, hold
about
on.
being born in a country
What
with
was
a
over on the
severe
left
and
side?
isolated dictatorship, the lengths they went to escape,
Is that like...
and the
It looks like some like ghost hunting footage or something, I don't know.
struggles of adapting to an entirely new world and concept of freedom. By the end of this video...
Oh my god, and there's like some white lady running on a beach to signify freedom. Okay. I can already tell what kind of video this is. Alright.
We'll find out if these escapees have been able to approach life outside of North Korea with a sense of hope, or
Oh
if
my
living
god,
through
these
the
like the
torturous
stock footage like to signify how great the West is and how free they are.
nightmare that was once their reality has proven far too traumatic for them to ever find a true sense of peace. Hello, Lucy.
Hi!
Okay, so again, I haven't watched this video, but he did link to the people featured in the video, so I just wanted to take a quick peek to see what these people's like YouTube channels are like, frankly. So this is a Lucy person here. Hold on, let me no. 1 second here. I did not work this out. Yeah, here. North Korea wiki page up. That's what I always said it as. Here. Boom. There we go. There we go. That's what I wanted. Yes, here we go. So the impression I get from this is just a lot of these defector channels. I notice they try to pull in their audience. They start with these like very they start with culturally relevant videos. So like you'll like look at this, like you go from like 8K views to 130,000 your second fucking video to 400,000 to, I mean, just like, and then eventually once they have like a committed audience, they'll start making a lot more like politically centric content and propaganda. Yeah, so this is the first person, Lucy from North Korea. And I think someone told me on someone let me know that like both of the defectors featured in this video. I know that Sherry, the other defector featured in the video, has, but that we'll take a look at soon. But both of them are like Park adjacent, like personal friends with Park Yeon-mi, and like they're part of her like they've been featured on her channel and things like that. Like she promotes all sorts of like other defector grifters and things like that. But yeah, just yeah, very like this is like they're following the formula very closely. But okay, let's continue.
Sherry.
Hi, Anthony.
Do you feel like you're...
Oh, okay, here, let's hold on. Let's take a look at Sherry then as well, just so we can. Yeah, she is much more she has much more brazen about her content. Like, I was selected for a pleasure squad. My story of escape from North Korea. Shocking song of worship for Kim Jong-un. Children's worship, like this kind of shit. Like, this is yeah, I've seen her personally on Park's channel. So, and I know that they're personal friends, so we might honestly, I have not watched a lot of her content, so we might it looks like it could be worth a stream once in a while, because this looks pretty fucking over the top. But okay, let's continue the video though.
Risking your safety by coming on here and speaking about your escape story, knowing that authority in North Korea could potentially see this video?
I would be very scared. But right now I am a citizen of South Korea, so I'm very protected over this government.
My father got tortured in North Korean prison and he suffered all his life. My mom's sister, recently she was sent to prison and she got tortured cruelly. And now she's in a serious condition.
I love that, like, how that woman was like, oh no, I'm in South Korea, I feel like super protected, but like Park Yeon-mi goes on Fox talking about how she's #1 on the kill list and she lives in fear, and how Maoists and Leninists are coming after her. And like, meanwhile, she talked about on Rogan about how she lived, like, she was just in constant fear, and like she couldn't, like, she was so terrified that she couldn't study because the non-binary students in her class, she was so afraid because she claimed that their pronouns would change from like 8 a.m. to noon, and so she was just constantly on edge and couldn't even like pay attention because she was so obsessed with like, oh no, what if I use the wrong pronouns and they can't they cancel me or something like that. Like, she went on a whole rant about non-binary people on the Joe Rogan podcast. It was fucking insane. But yeah, it's just funny how like these people are like, oh no, I'm totally safe. Like, they're apparently not afraid of Kim Jong-un's supposed hitmen all coming after them.
Now my mom and my sister support me to speak out against the regime. This is meaningful work for our people in North Korea.
I feel like most people watching have no idea what North Korea is really like.
Yeah, so let's go to the people who are the most fucking hostile to it for all our answers.
Can you explain the extent of the strict rules and repression?
And let's make sure to focus exclusively on, you know, these fucking anecdotes.
North Korean citizens face.
North Korea has countless ridiculous rules that North Koreans must obey. A lot of security enforcement regulation.
And yeah, that's an interesting point because like you'll notice like like, name me a popular defector who is not a young woman in her 20s. Like, name one. You can, because they're literally chosen specifically for their age and their looks. Like, that's literally how they choose. Like, in South Korea, they have like tons of defector talk shows. Well, like, okay, the most well-known one is like half talk show and half defector beauty pageant, where they like model swimsuits and shit like that on national television. And yeah, you can't get on that fucking show if you're not extremely like good looking and like young, and also you have to like have really like sensational stories. Kim Ryun-hui in Loyal Citizens of Pyongyang, which if you haven't seen that documentary, fucking please look it up. It's on YouTube. It's free. It's only like 40 minutes. It will change your perspective entirely. She talked about how she had friends who were offered spots on television shows, but they watched these shows and they're like, I don't know what any of these people are talking about. Like, that's not at all what that country is like. And so they told her, like, oh, it's okay, we'll give you a script and you can just like read from it. You can't stay on those television shows if it's just like, oh, we're hungry in the north, oh, it's cold up there. You have to constantly build up these stories like, oh, I saw 2 soldiers use a baby's head as a fucking seesaw out in a muddy field, or I saw a disabled child buried alive in mud, or something, things like that. It has to always keep building up and up, and build up because it's fucking television, it's entertainment, and it's like genocide porn, like, for fucking South Koreans. So, but even like Park Hyun-mi was too fucking much for South Korea, and that's why she fucking came to the United States.
One
But
of
yeah,
them
sorry.
is electricity inspection. Often security officers come into your house without notice to check if you are using electricity or not. If you don't have money to bribe them, then you will send to forced labor.
I have of all the defectors I've watched, I've never heard of these electricity inspections, and that if you would look, why would they fucking wire your house for electricity if you're not allowed to use it? I don't. Okay. But you go to a labor camp if you turn on a light bulb? I'm so confused. Okay.
Camp. Security officers come into your house in the middle of the night, of course, without any notice,
Yeah.
to check if any strangers are sleeping in your house. North Korea is the no freedom of movement. So even inside North Korea, we cannot travel freely within North.
I mean, that's another claim of like Park Hyun-mi, how like she claims to be like, she literally said that she was like, before she did this whole twist of like, oh, I ate grasshoppers and mealworms to survive and dragonflies. Like, she used to say like, oh, I was the Paris Hilton of North Korea, and she used to brag about like all the fucking handbags, like designer European handbags that her mother would buy like during the famine, and like how, oh, I never got to see what a beach looks like. And yeah, it's like super duper common to go to the beach in the DPRK. Like the state builds fucking resorts and like gigantic like like beach resort zones, like for it to give people free vacations. Like,
Country.
The government has to know where you are at all times, and you have to be in the place
Exactly.
where you're supposed to be.
If you ask anybody from North Korea, the thing that you have to have in your home, you have to have the portrait of Kim Jong-il, Kim Il-sung, and right now,
they do not put portraits of Kim Jong-un in their homes. What? That's just something, that's a very brazen fucking lie to make. They do not have portraits of Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un. I
Those-
remember growing up
Okay.
really bowing down to the picture as if it's, God. At the time, I really thought he was God. I thought he wasn't human.
Okay, again, they don't have portraits of Kim Jong-un, so that story is, she's obviously fucking lying through her teeth.
It is the duty of the family to keep the portraits clean at all times. Often, security.
Oh yes, this whole shit about, oh, if they inspect and there's a bit of dander on the portrait, you and the 29 generations of your family fucking dead.
Officers come into your house to check if any dust
Yeah.
on the portraits.
Jesus.
And the punishment of having dirty portraits is to send you to forced labor camp.
Sounds like that's
I like how she fucking laughs about that. Like, okay, and also, I mean, this reminds me of, oh, jeez, I just lost my train of thought, I'm sorry.
The punishment for everything.
Yeah, everything we do in North Korea is all about the worshipping the Kim family and loyal to the Kim family.
Did you find any of these things strange at the time, or was it just a normal part of life for you?
At the time, I thought it was completely normal because if I look at my right or left, you know, everybody was doing the same thing. You know, there was nothing for me to compare with.
North Korean people are systematically brainwashed from a young age. I thought the Kim family was.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. It's like those claims about how, like, you hear all the time about how, oh, if you get caught watching a South Korean film, instant execution of anyone you ever fucking met, just fucking dead. Everyone's wiped out. The whole fucking neighborhood's gone. And literally even the most like avidly anti-DPRK researchers, analysts, and reporters all like it's been years since it's been the settled fact that like nobody goes to a fucking camp for a fucking movie. Like there definitely is like criticism like for those actions, but there's no like there's not a single case of anybody being executed for watching like or having Western films. And in fact, contrary to what people will tell you, I mean, even the state itself runs like movie stalls in like every major city, town that sell DVDs with Western films, like Disney films. Like you can buy Winnie the Pooh or The Lion King or other, you know, like those kind of things all the time, like freely. You can look up on YouTube, like just search North Korea DVD or something, DVD stall, and you'll see videos of people going and buying DVDs at these stalls. So
God, when he was born, the whole world was so happy that two rainbows are appeared in the sky to.
Yeah, this is a very old myth about how he was heralded by a star and, you know, a flock of cranes and shit like look up any autobiography on the from the DPRK about Kim Jong-il. They literally say that he was born at like the peak of Mount Paektu, like, or the anti-DPRK people say that, when literally they just say like, oh, he was born like several miles away, like southeast of Mount Paektu, like in one of the camps of the anti-Japanese guerrillas, the Korean People's Revolutionary Army. But yeah, there's this whole fucking bullshit about how there's a double rainbow and like this is fucking stupid. This is like this is like beyond me level. Like I'm pretty much. This just goes to show that they're pretty much on the same level.
Celebrate his birth.
He formed a double rainbow at his birth.
Yes. The region
Source none.
Kim has started working on idolizing Kim Jong-un.
Like people go on tours to the site of like Kim Jong-il's birthplace. Like they don't. You think that one person would have come back with like a video or a story? Like none. Like that's not what the fuck they tell people, because it's fucking ludicrous, because they're trying to basically, obviously they're trying to push the narrative of like, oh, they literally believe that he's a deity, like a living god, when nobody there fucking believes that. Not one single person.
So Kim Jong-un was able to drive a tank at the age of 6. No,
A source, fucking none.
people
Just believe me, bro.
I don't think
Yeah, I mean, when you're taught something forever, it doesn't seem silly at all.
It's like that shit about how you constantly hear about I don't remember the exact numbers. It was like, oh, Kim Jong-il scored a hole-in-one while golfing like 20 times, something like that. I don't know golf, but literally the only fucking source for that story, like they tell you, oh, it's in every single DPRK textbook, and it's, you know, and they tell these stories all the time. No, it's the only fucking source for that is like an Australian fucking sports journalist who basically in his story said, oh, some guy at a resort told me at one time, and that's enough proof for that big of a fucking claim that we hear told like every other fucking day.
So everyone actually believes it.
What was your extent of knowledge of the outside world?
I didn't know the outside world even existed.
Oh my fucking god. We just had to deal with this about Yeonmi like yesterday. She simultaneously talked about how she didn't know other continents or other races existed, and how she thought that the DPRK was the only country that existed in the entire world. And then she went on fucking Hannity and had this whole discussion about how in the DPRK in school they're taught like extensively about the colonization of Africa and Asia. Like, just they've obviously fucking workshopped their fucking talking points with Yeonmi, or like, you know, that whole fucking cabal of fucking. Yeah.
I thought the only country that exists in this entire.
Oh my god, I didn't know she was actually going to go as far as to say that she literally thought that the only country that existed is the DPRK. Like, what? Like, okay, so these people are literally saying that there's no anti-American propaganda in the DPRK because they're literally claiming that they didn't know that America even existed. Or that China or Russia. Like, what the It's just this is so fucking ridiculous. And this has 500,000 views in the last 4 days. Jesus. And I guarantee those are mostly, unfortunately, probably fucking young people. And that's really fucking sad.
World was only North Korea. At times, I would listen to adult conversations. Some people in our family, they escaped this country and they went to South Korea, and they create these rumors like if you go to South Korea you have to sell your blood to survive, and you know, it's so poor.
I mean, yeah, a lot of people do have to sell like their own fucking plasma to get by. I mean, yeah, like there have been literal defectors who have, like, them and their children have starved to death in the fucking slums of Seoul because they didn't want to fucking sell out and fucking tell these stories online for fucking cash like you. So it is kind of rough for a lot of people there.
You have to sell your physicalness. It's better to stay here than leave.
The media.
Yeah. I mean, like, people, like, defectors get fucking, like, yeah, defectors get abused and, like, sold into horrible situations all the fucking time. Of course it's better to fucking stay there. Even if there's a hardship, it's better to fucking stay there. Like, I mean, like, yeah, a lot of, like, some defectors even end up in, like, sexual slavery, and, like, so, not bad advice, I would say.
It's strictly controlled by the regime, so we don't know about how it looks like outside North Korea. The only way we can learn is through foreign films. When we have electricity, we watch it.
I'm gonna guess that they're gonna try to push this whole thing of, like, oh, the way that we can help the DPRK is by, like, you know, they're gonna try to connect it. I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched this completely, or, like, I watched, like, 30 seconds of it before I came on stream, but, I mean, a lot of these effectors are trying to push this whole narrative of, oh, we gotta continue the balloon launches. The balloon launches are fucking, like, key, because South Korea is trying to limit those, because it's a direct violation of the Panmunjom Agreement, which agreed that both sides would end their military hostilities on both sides and stop, provocations. And the balloon launches are a direct violation of that. And so the defectors are trying to, you know, push this whole, oh, freedom of speech, freedom of expression thing, when they're literally trying to provoke a fucking war. That's the goal.
Secretly foreign films.
So your family would sneak movies and TV shows, and you guys would watch.
And that's a good question. Kishkami, we'll actually check out the comments after this. That'd be interesting.
Watch it in secret.
Just to see, like, what I almost don't want to, because I can already, like, with any of these videos, it's just like, you know, you're gonna scroll down, it's gonna be like, oh, you're so brave, oh my god, you know, it's just gonna be that, like, kind of, oh my god, I'm so shocked, like, that kind of shit, just from the most ignorant fucking people in the world, who, like, this is their first introduction to the DPRK, and this is what their foundational, like, quote-unquote knowledge is going to be, like,
Yeah, in
just sad.
In North Korea, there is only one TV channel.
But yeah, we will check the wait, hold the fuck on. We will check that out after this. I think they are repeating Yeonmi's talking points, like, point for point. I mean, I was just, like, hypothesizing that they might have workshopped this with Yeonmi, but I don't know at this point.
Yeah, in secret. In North Korea, there is only one TV channel.
There's actually been multiple TV channels in the DPRK since the fucking 1970s. So, what a weird claim. Like, there's Korean Central Television, there's Monsudae Television, there's There's like a sports channel. There's one for films. Like I know of at least 4 DPRK television channels, but yeah, only one apparently. It's like you have to almost question like it's just weird how it can be so fucking brazen like this, like almost as if they didn't even fucking live there. Like, I mean, I don't believe that, but it's just like it's so warped. Like
The contents broadcasts all about like history and like worship the Kim family.
no, on KCTV, there's news, there's sports, there's film. They even show foreign movies on Korean Central Television, like Russian and Chinese films. All the time, I see those.
Family. So we
They do
just
like morning cartoons and shit. They do music like all the time. Like
turned off right away.
they do international news every day. There's international news coverage.
Even North Korean movies are all about the loyalty to the Kim regime.
No. What? You're gonna tell me that like Pulgasari is about loyalty to the Kim regime? Like no, no, it
A
wasn't.
certain time, like it was 4 o'clock, they would show us cartoons. These character of squirrel wearing this army uniform and killing
Right, I think it's Squirrel and Hedgehog. Is that? I think that's the one.
American characters, and we would always win.
They were showing the kids North Koreans killing Americans.
Even in kindergarten.
I mean, no, I mean, it's like it's kind of like I guess representation, but like it's not like literal like Americans. It's just fucking like animals. Like it's like little, it's like furries.
You encounter American person with big nose, blue eyes.
Wait, I thought you just said that you didn't even know fucking other countries existed or other races, but suddenly you know that Americans existed, and and they teach you like biology about them and shit like that. Like what? Okay.
Not human, you have to kill them.
Literally, you just have to kill them. They're not. Wow.
I mean, God, this is following like the old way, like what they do with every single DPRK interview, where it's just like the interviewer is just. They say something ridiculous, and the interviewer is just like, "Wow, oh my god!" Like just and just goes along with it the entire way, and zero fucking skepticism.
Did you ever discuss any of your negative thoughts that you had about the regime with anyone else?
Never.
Yeah, this is a very weird set, I gotta say.
Regime encourages people to spy on each other, and it's the duty as a citizen to report it. We don't usually share negative thoughts or towards the regime, anyone except family members. So 3 of us, we were talking about it, right? If she doesn't report me, then another one will report it. Then both of us, we will.
Yeah, very strange because like defectors like to claim how every single house and every single public space is bugged, and like they have an agent on every single like line listening in. And how they spread this fucking bullshit about how they literally ripped straight out from 1984, claiming that in the DPRK they have radios built into every house that you can't ever turn off, so it's 24/7 just blaring propaganda. And then the next sentence they'll say like, but electricity doesn't exist. I didn't even know what electricity was, like shit like that. Like it's fucking bullshit. But yeah, they can talk in private apparently and just be fine. But yeah, every place is bugged. They're always listening. Okay.
Be punished.
So one person could be punished merely for hearing and not reporting.
Exactly.
How old were you when you eventually escaped?
I was, 10.
I escaped when I was 17 years old.
Were you aware of any of the consequences of escaping the country?
We totally aware of what consequences of escaping. North Korean defectors, if they are caught during their escaping, we will be sent to prison and we will be tortured cruelly.
Of course, cartoon drawings.
And once you
because they don't have any like actual imagery of the camps or anything like that, and obviously all of the fucking satellite imagery just shows literally like normal fucking farming towns and villages.
Get in there, you cannot get out of prison until you die. When I left China with my sister, each of us, we carried a razor, and we planned on using those razors, commit suicide by cutting our wrists in case we were captured.
I wasn't aware.
It's become like well known how the DPRK is actually super duper lenient to people who defect, and in fact, it's such an issue that Western intelligence often takes advantage of it, and that's how they get intelligence assets and saboteurs back into the country, because there is no punishment for returning to the DPRK from China. Like it's very, very common, and like not only defections, but like I mean, there's like for a lot of the border regions, there's hardly even a concept of a border, because it's so often that people come and go from China. Especially, I mean, I've talked about this all the time, but especially to the Korean Autonomous Province, to Jilin, because there's a lot of family bonds there, obviously. So it's very common for people to go for weeks or months at a time to China and then come back and just resume normal life. And yeah.
Until I escaped, and my mom told me that we will be all executed, and she showed me in our pocket, she had this little black thing, and that was, if we were to get caught, she would feed us these little things and we would just kill ourselves.
So your mom knew that the punishment would be so harsh that you could...
This is a super common like defector narrative about how they brought things along to kill themselves, and it's like, wouldn't like after like wouldn't DPRK security like know about this, like search them, or like it seems like a very, I don't know,
imprisonment,
just very well known that like every defector has said this at this point. So
torture, and she would be better off serving you something that would kill you instantly.
Kish Kami, if you have not checked out Loyal Citizens of Pyongyang and Seoul, I would really, really recommend that, because that is a particularly good one that would, I don't know if you've already seen it, but always recommend that. It's on YouTube, it's free, it'll blow your fucking mind.
Instead of having you potentially face all those horrors.
Yes.
What were the events that led up to that, and how did you eventually escape?
You know, my mom, I was playing
In Z-Buff, I have not heard of that. I'm not even familiar with that defector particularly, so I have no idea.
with my friends. She came to pick me up at nighttime. Right next door, there was this guy who I've never met before, who eventually turned out to be a broker.
Yeah.
You know, broker did all the things. We crossed the Human River, and we got there safely. There was a taxi waiting for us. We hopped onto the taxi. We didn't say anything, and I was sitting by the window seat, and I would just look around, and I would see these huge buildings. I had a million questions to my mom, like where are we? So we left North Korea completely. We're in China. We moved around a lot because for safety reasons. One day, the broker was like, "I'm taking you to a private restaurant." We went into this private room, and the next thing you know, 5-6 tall guys comes in, burst open the door, and started screaming at us, "Get out, just get out." As we went outside, there was 2 big vans waiting for us, so we had to go in. And it was really funny because at that time, that short time, the amount of things that went in through my head was, oh, what are we gonna do? Like, are they gonna kill us? We arrived.
It's just weird to me, like they're never gonna talk about like the defectors who get sold on this fucking idea of like, oh, come to South Korea, it's a land paved with gold, you're gonna be fucking rich, like all South Koreans are. And like, you know, the North Korean mothers who fucking die in the slums of Seoul because they didn't fucking sell out to fucking lie about their country. And it's just these like fucking like these like overcoming stories, like these very like inspirational, like kind of like really stories that like Western audiences really eat up, I would say. It's just it's sad that they'll never give a moment to defectors like, you know, Kim Ron-hui, or any of the other people who want to go back, you know, desperately want to go back, but are being kept, basically being, you know, I mean, they're being imprisoned in South Korea for wanting to return to their country. They're denied passports to travel abroad. They're prisoners in effect, you know, or the defectors who get put in solitary for 6 months, you know, in the detention. Or of course, they're not going to mention the defector detention facilities, I'm sure, in Seoul, the fucking with giant fucking stone walls and barbed wire and, you know, shit like that. Like,
In a destination, and they started.
it's all fucking, you know, just all roses, you know, just and then, you know, South Korea is just freedom. That's literally the impression they give you, that like, oh, just the moment you get to South Korea, you're free, you just run off, go be free. No, you get fucking detained and you get fucking interrogated for months and months and months, and they fucking break you until they know whether or not you're going to be a good fucking tool for them to use or not.
To take off their clothes, and they were wearing a clothes that looked like a police officers. They came towards us and I was like, are you guys hungry?
You were like treated like hostages, or like you were being held
Yeah.
for ransom, and then all of a sudden they're treating you with respect.
We were sitting here completely confused. They feed us food. The next day we met with our previous broker and he was smiling to us like everything's gonna be okay. I paid them the money. So basically, you know, they wanted us just to get the money.
God, and at what cost though? I mean, that must have been traumatizing for you.
I remember that moment clearly, and I started to have nightmares right after escaping and, you know, living in South Korea.
Anarcho-doomerism. When did I say, quote, everything that criticizes the CCP or DPRK is imperialist propaganda? When? I don't recall that.
When I turned to 16 years old, I got selected to the Pleasure Squad.
I mean, you already kind of give it away when the first thing you said was North Korea is trash, so I guess I kind of know what your opinion is already, so. But you obviously don't know mine.
Like the regime select girls all over the country, pretty and young, and there's a certain standard. The girls who got selected, they have to go through all like.
Wait, what is she?
The regime.
Oh, okay, now she's gonna. Oh yeah, she's gonna fucking talk about pleasure squads now. Oh yes, these fucking stories about how. Oh my god, fucking they claimed. They claimed that Kim Il Sung, was super into little tiny children, and that he literally believed, and this is like they claim, because they claim like these defectors, like if you fucking read their books, like or even watch Yeonmi, she knows every single thought that comes into Kim Jong-un's mind, like every single action that Kim Jong-un takes, Yeonmi somehow knows the innermost thoughts, every single little neuron firing in Kim Jong-un's brain, Yeonmi detects it magically. And so they literally wrote this shit about how Kim Il Sung literally believed that raping young children would give him literal immortality. Yeah, they wrote that shit, and now like this, and I mean they've claimed that remember when the in the 2018 Olympics in South Korea, when it was a huge moment for reconciliation and inter-Korean cooperation, the Koreas united into one team and came in with the same flag, and they were on the it was just a Korean team, not North or South. The Western media was literally just running non-stop stories about how the DPRK cheer squad were all Kim Jong-un's personal sex slaves, and how they're just, you know, brainwashed idiots and things like that, like doing everything they can to distract from a really important historical moment for Koreans and trying to just propagandize against the North.
Selected to the Pleasure Squad. The Pleasure Squad is like the regime select girls all over the country, pretty and young, and there's a certain standard. The girls who got selected, they have to go through all like strict examination. Plus, it's a virgin test as well. After you pass, then you go to Pyongyang. Serve only for the Kim dictator. For the Kim Jong-un or Kim Jong-il, there's a lot of like resort for them. You can be a nurse
Wait.
For the Kim dictator. For the
I mean, okay, this right here that they're showing is literally the Yangdok Hot Springs Resort, which is not just for Kim Jong-un. It gets literally. We just saw the participants in the conference of war veterans. They all got to go because it's you don't pay to go to these places. The state pays for your for your own holidaying. Like every worker in the DPRK receives several weeks of vacation time, and it's to recuperate from, you know, physical and mental stress. You know, a lot of the times after a big construction project is completed, they'll send, you know, the construction workers to go holiday. So this is not like Kim Jong Un's personal resort. This is a state project that they'd worked on for years and years. Well, not years. Like I think it was like 1 or 2 years, but yeah, that's not like a private resort or like a palace or mansion that they're trying to claim.
Kim Jong Un or Kim Jong Il, there's a lot of like resort for them. You can be a nurse, or you can be a dancer in front of Kim Jong Un, or you can be a massager.
Little did you know that you might have had to put your
Sorry, I don't want to butcher your name, Tiljan. I mean, obviously you don't know the the series of events that followed that, because the whole reason that all fell apart was because the DPRK kept giving in to demands and kept giving concessions, meanwhile getting nothing in return. And then there was the basically the grand bargain at Hanoi, in which the DPRK offered to not only let in American inspectors to oversee the dismantlement of their the Yongbyon nuclear reactor, but they were going to shut down all of their missile development facilities and things like that in exchange for some very minor economic sanctions relief. Not sanctions that were affecting the military, but sanctions that were specifically affecting the civilian economy. And Trump projected that because he was being heavily influenced by Bolton and Pompeo. And yeah, that was pretty much the end of the détente at that time, unfortunately. It would have been, frankly, it's a once in a lifetime kind of deal, frankly, that massively would have benefited the United States position. But for them, it was you have to denuclearize first. You have to give up all your defenses first, and then maybe we'll think about easing the sanctions on you, which obviously is a fucking trap. They're not going to fucking do the same. They're not going to make the same mistakes as Libya or Iraq. Sorry.
your hands all over Kim Jong Un?
It's so disgusting.
Yeah, sounds a little uncomfortable.
I didn't know. But only thing we know is the honorable thing to serve the Kim dictator, right? Your family members or like people are like just looked up to you. So while through process to go to Pyongyang, I was working in the mayor's villa in my hometown. At that time, I couldn't see my family, relatives, and friends. And I just soon felt like I was in prison. So I decided to escape. The only option for me was climbing over the wall. I noticed that there's some rocks scattered around the wall. Another thing I've noticed that like people in the villa, they fell asleep deeply between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. Every day, that time, I
don't think they even have mayors in the DPRK. Like, that's not a position that even exists there. Like, they have like city people's committees. They don't have mayors. And like, you can't like go try to find some like villas in like a small DPRK town. Like, you're not gonna find it. Like, that's very weird. That's very strange. Okay.
came out of the room and I scattered the rocks and piled it. I piled it, and then until I make it, I just spread the rocks again and then piled again.
You were training yourself to stack these rocks up and see how
Exactly.
quickly you could get it done and have enough time to escape.
So for 15 days, finally, yeah, I was able to.
It's like, I don't. Okay, maybe it's over analysis on my part, but like, it seems so fucking weird to be laughing about this stuff. Like, imagine like a Holocaust survivor or something is like talking, oh, I was stacking up rocks up against the barbed wire or something to escape, and they're just like laughing about it. Like, it's like oh, like, I don't understand like what exactly is funny.
Escape. When I escaped the villa, actually, I didn't really know that I made a serious crime. I arrived in the city and I bumped into my friends at her yard. I told her, I'm going to see my family. And she said, you know what, you cannot go to see your family, so why not? And she said, 400 soldiers are chasing you and looking for you on the border.
400 soldiers?
Yeah, there's a lot of like unrelated like stock footage in this video. It's very, yeah.
Soldiers.
Yeah.
Did you
I
have
was
any idea
chased-
that that many soldiers would be chasing you?
I didn't have any idea. So she
I think it's just tried to make it more, more enticing to the viewer, more persuasive, I guess.
need to hide in friend's house. So I hid it. And
Yeah, I assume it's made for people. I assume that his audience is much younger, so it's obviously they're trying to keep those attention spans, keep those keep that endorphin loop going, I guess.
in that house for 3 months.
You thought that they would just stop searching for you after.
And also, I really think that a big part of the Pleasure Squad narrative is to I almost feel like it's to cater to these fucking incels who that's their fantasy is just a whole country of enslaved women who they can just do whatever they want to.
A certain amount of months.
Exactly. But the people who helped me to hide.
And also, they're trying to. They defectors. We talked about this earlier. How name a popular defector to me who is not a young woman in her 20s, like UKA. They're all young, attractive women, and that's why they're chosen for this line of work. And they clearly do use a lot of sex appeal to market themselves and their propaganda. Which welcome to America. That's fucking everywhere. So.
They are afraid of, then they will be punished too. That's why they say, oh, we cannot help you anymore. Finally, I hid it in the kimchi cellar. No windows, it's underground. I actually hid it there for 1 month. My skin was getting to yellow because I couldn't see the light. Yes, that's why I got really sick.
Did you think that you might die there?
I heard the people talking outside the kimchi cellar. They say, oh, she's going to die soon. I was so hopeless. The only way I could live was cross the border. Once I decided to escape from North Korea, we borrowed the military general car and I hid it in the trunk.
How did you get in contact with this high-ranking general to get into the car?
My friends contact him because they've known each other. He was in the car, so it was safe for me to pass the guard post.
I cannot imagine the feeling of being.
Wait.
trapped in-
Why did they wait? Hold on. Are they talking about the
I
DMZ?
hid
What?
Korea. We borrowed the
'Cause they showed
military
footage of
general
that.
car, and I hid it in the trunk.
How did you get in contact with this high-ranking general to get into the car?
My friends contact him because they've
Wait, she escaped in the trunk of a high-ranking DPRK general?
each other. He was in the car, so it was.
Why are they saying? No, they can't be saying that she went through the DMZ.
Safe for me to pass the guard post.
I cannot imagine the feeling of being trapped in a trunk, crossing the border, knowing that I could be captured, never see my family again.
It was so scared. Once we arrived, there were.
Wait. So they drove across the DPRK China border, and so a DPRK general put her into his trunk, and then she and him, a high-ranking DPRK general, went to China.
Another soldiers who work on the border, they helped me to cross the border to China.
And how did that feel, knowing that you had made it?
Okay, wait. So they got her to the border, and then the border guards helped her cross.
I crossed the border until I make it to Chinese border. I actually eventually I cried out.
I can imagine. How has your life changed most since you escaped? Before we continue learning about the world of North Korean defectors,
If I
Again, just the laughter is very, very unsettling.
criticize the president,
Oh, no, no, no,
president
no, no.
of the United
No, no,
States,
no.
I don't need
Right.
to worry about being arrested.
I want to thank Ray little as $10 worth on Kraken to give it a shot. Find out for yourself why Kraken has been listed as one of the highest rated
Fuck off.
Kraken.com/Padilla now to learn more, or just search for
Fuck you.
Back to the
Fuck
World
you.
of North Korean Defectors.
I love how this is fucking brought to you by, what was it? The first ad was Squarespace and now it's Kraken. Great.
How has your life changed since you escaped?
I don't need
I wonder
to
how much they paid him for this.
watch out my
I wonder how much she got paid for this.
You don't need to watch what you say.
But in this country, even
But to be honest, publicity probably ends up giving them a pretty big paycheck. So
if I criticize the president of the United States, I'm totally
oh
fine.
yeah, it's obvious. It's like it's atrocity porn. Like I called it earlier. I said it was genocide porn. Like yeah, it's literally just yep.
And I don't need to worry about
Most sensational stories I can possibly come up with. You know.
being arrested or killed.
How does it feel knowing
Wait, what?
Even if I criticize the president of the United States, I'm totally fine. I don't need to worry about being arrested or killed.
I mean, yeah, you're part of their fucking like regime change fucking network. Yeah, why the? Of course you're fucking safe. Like, you're part of the protected class now. Of course you're fucking untouchable. And meanwhile, there definitely are people who fucking are targeted because of their fucking political criticisms in this country. Like, there are tons of fucking political prisoners in the United States. What the fuck are you talking about?
how does it feel knowing that you can now talk about these things freely, even here on a platform that could be seen by potentially millions of people, knowing that you won't face a life in prison or torture just for speaking out?
I'm speechless. Just it's a amazing thing for North Korean people to think about. We never think of this kind of freedom exists.
Yeah, you literally live in the country with the largest prison population in the world. Like, even by the most highest anti-DPRK estimates, it's like several fucking times their prison population. And it's based on like fucking white supremacy. So, freedom, yeah, real nice.
Like, what is your dream? What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to become in the future? And in North Korea, there's no such question. Instead of, in North Korea, they would ask us, how would you make our leader happy?
So how did it feel to have that kind of empowerment, to feel like you had some control?
And now they're gonna do the fucking like the girl boss, like the feminist angle here, I guess.
In your life?
At first, it was a little bit of feeling of burden.
Like having too many choices of places to eat, or
Oh
too
my fucking god.
many choices of things to watch on Netflix?
Okay, yeah, too much choices like really is hard. I have my own choice. I have my life, and it is my responsibility to.
Yeah, we have freedom in this country, guys. You can choose, like, we have unlimited freedoms. You get to choose between, Wendy's, McDonald's, like Burger King. That's what real freedom and liberty is all about.
Become who I want to be. Do the things that I want.
What's your favorite part about your new daily life?
Not having to worry about if someone is watching me.
Okay. Yep. In America, nobody. Yep. Nobody is ever watching you in America. Government, they're so fucking passive and laid back. They're not collecting all of your fucking data, or spying on its citizens, or literally fucking drone striking its fucking citizens. Never. Just, in America, nobody ever has to worry about government surveillance, or the neighbors like fucking spying on them or anything like that. Just only in the DPRK. Just those evil Koreans.
Say these wrong things, that my life will be in danger. We would always talk about if we didn't escape.
I mean, yes, if you fucking advocate against the United States' fucking biggest state enemies, yeah, you're not gonna get fucking punished for that. Of course you're fucking not. Meanwhile, fucking anti-imperialist and indigenous activists get their fucking doors broken down all the fucking time and get fucking trumped up charges placed on them all the fucking time, and have all of their communications and monitored 24/7.
We wouldn't be.
But yeah, I guess life is pretty fucking sweet for you. So
eating this food today, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we are doing right now. So everything really makes us to really appreciate the things that is given to us at this moment.
What were some of the most shocking
of course, and that's gonna be just talking about how amazing the West is.
discoveries or experiences that you had outside of North Korea?
Growing up, I got to see the plane in a textbook with.
Oh, absolutely, Keish, and especially in the world of especially as how connected to like our devices we are. Like, yeah, they have they can, even if the DPRK had a fucking agent outside of every single individual house, just like listening in on the little the bugs that are apparently in all of them, they would still like not know as much as the government knows about each one of us just by our fucking online communications and what we put out there. Like, yeah.
A drawing of a plane. So I've actually never seen a plane in my real life. People can't fly, objects can't fly. That was my thought.
Oh, hold the fucking wait.
Plane in a textbook with a drawing of a plane. So I've actually never seen a plane in my real life. People can't fly, objects can't fly. That was my thought.
Oh my god. I fucking hate these people so goddamn much. So now they're claiming that they did not know that flight existed. They were just in the fucking like Stone Age. Okay. They have like airports all over the fucking country. They have an Air Force. They show the fucking Air Force in planes on television like every single fucking day. But yeah, they were so ignorant that they thought, oh, people can't fly? I really think I'm convinced now that they did workshop this shit with Yeonmi or someone else, like some other fucking... I can't even think of anyone else who lies this brazenly other than Yeonmi, but here we fucking are.
Like, you know, they are lying to us. Like, how can we fly?
Yes, they have Koryo Airlines. They have like their own fucking... They have their own airlines. And like, you can find airports all over the... Like, it's not just like Pyongyang. Like, they have airports in like pretty much... Like, they have major airports in Pyongyang and Samjian and Wonsan. But they're also like military and like small craft airfields like all over the fucking place. If you go like satellite browsing like I do all the fucking time, they're all over the goddamn place. So for them to be saying, oh, we didn't even know flight existed. It was like, it's Western magic. Fuck off.
You didn't even think that people could fly. Do you remember the feeling of lifting up off the ground for the first time?
I just didn't want to believe that was happening to me.
Did you get a chance to look out the window?
Why is these people looking like an ant?
Oh
I was making these...
fucking god. These people infantilize the people of the DPRK so fucking much so that white people believe that we know what's best for them. We have to go and fucking liberate them and show them that flight exists and show them the magic of McDonald's and Burger King. Like, fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck.
Comments to myself.
Honestly, I thought Sherry would be the worst one, but like fucking this Lucy character, Jesus fucking Christ.
Brother ended up like smacking on my back and said, act normal. Like, this is just don't say anything.
He was embarrassed about the fact that you were seeing a million new things all at once, experiencing something that you had only barely heard of even existing whatsoever.
When I landed in South Korea and I see these sparkling, shiny things, the time that we landed, the season was spring, and I thought it was winter because I saw ice that ended up being a marble floor.
A marble floor looked like ice.
And right in front of me, you would see National Intelligence Service people waiting to pick us up. And, you know, he would say, you know, this is completely normal. We see them doing this all the time.
Do you miss anything about your lifestyle in North Korea?
There is no memory.
I'm trying to wrap my fucking head around this. She thought that a marble floor was snow and ice. Okay.
Of lifestyle.
Again, it's just painting these people. It's like trying to paint the DPRK people as just like almost like infants. Like I don't. God, like how do you even fucking begin? Like.
So I miss relatives and friends, and I miss the times my family.
Like they don't even know what the fuck marble is. Like they don't know what they don't know about different stones. Like. Okay.
In North
Keep
Korea.
going.
How much of a connection do you still have with your
Oh, we're almost done. Only 5 minutes left. Thank fuck.
and family that are still in North Korea?
North Korea is not a country where I can make a phone calls whatever I want. I can only contact them when they call me. I only contact our relatives once a year. We cannot have deep conversations because North Korean regime tries to track the phone signal.
So you have to talk really quickly and try to get as much as you can. How much time do you get per conversation?
We have a very limited time, like 10 minutes.
And if there's anyone in North Korea that somehow sees this video, is there anything that you'd want to say to them?
I escaped from North Korea and I am very privileged to live and have this freedom to live. But I just want you guys to be safe. I just want you guys to be healthy, and I hope to see you one day.
I hate that because these people are oh my god, fucking yeah, Parky on me and these fucking defectors are gonna leave their fucking skyscraper, fucking luxury, multi-million-dollar apartments to go fucking go back to the DPRK after it's been fucking leveled to the ground because of their fucking regime change efforts. To go be exploited for fucking cheap labor by America and go fucking work in the mines to extract fucking minerals for fucking Western companies. Yeah, I'm sure they're really fucking eager to go back, yeah. No, they're fucking making bank right now and they're perfectly fucking happy where they are.
North Koreans are like birds trapped in the cage built by the dictator. We don't know that we live as slaves to the dictator. So I hope if they can see this video, learn the truth, and find the...
Yeah, this is really about getting to... what they're really focused on is getting this video back to the DPRK, yeah, not about, poisoning the fucking minds of the American youth to be fucking for regime change in Korea.
Them by tearing down the cage built by the dictator.
Josh Dove wants to know, what are some facts or ideas the outside world has about North Korea that are totally wrong?
When people think about North Korea, they think of nuclear weapons. But North Korea is the world's #1 human rights violator. Countless people are executed and sent to political prison camps.
I like how and throughout this entire video they've mixed in just footage from China in with the DPRK because they all look the same, so fuck it.
Or unknown charges.
I really don't like. I've only someone mentioned the channel. It was like Smosh, that was it, and yeah, I've seen this person like a couple times like a decade ago and like not a thing since. So this is like my first encounter with Anthony Padilla since his days in Smosh, and wow, just fucking wow.
Are treated worse than an animal.
Yeah, instead of just thinking about the North Korean threat to the world with nuclear weapons, you want people to realize that the North Koreans themselves are, separate from the government. They don't want to experience this repression that they're experiencing.
Human beings like us are suffering.
What do you think the biggest misconception is?
Yeah, seriously, by far, the United States is the biggest human rights violator in the entire world. Like, there's not even if you believed every single thing said about the DPRK, it wouldn't even be close. I mean, the death tolls, of our fucking actions around the world, let alone in Korea. Of course, this video is not going to give there's no context, no historical context for any of this. No discussion about sanctions. No discussion about the genocide against Korea in the 50s. No discussion about leveling their entire fucking country to the ground. Forcing millions of people to literally live in fucking, in makeshift shelters built into fucking hills so that they could avoid bomber detection. And of course, obviously, they want to push the human rights thing because it obviously is. They want more sanctions. That's what they want. They want more sanctions. They would be happy with a fucking embargo. So,
North Korean defectors.
People should know that North Korean defectors, we didn't gain the freedom easily, and even at this moment, Kim Jong-un tries really hard to catch defectors. If we are being kidnapped and sent back to North Korea, then there's no chance.
But okay. I think it was Sherry who said, "Oh, I don't have any fear of living here. The government is they totally protect me. I feel totally safe." And now she's talking about how she's they're at risk of being fucking kidnapped and taken back.
To survive.
Yeah, and I talked about it just today, but Yeonmi claims that she is #1 on the DPRK, the Kim Jong-un's personal kill list. Meanwhile, she doesn't have any fucking security, and she literally got her ass beat in the middle of Chicago with 50 people watching.
All right, you got 5 seconds to shout out or promote anything you want.
So apparently, any random person. Oh, wait. so like any random person can like attack these defectors on the streets, but like apparently Kim Jong-un's secret assassins, who are like apparently among the best in the world, just they can't manage to get even one of them. Oh, dang it.
There's
Okay, so I don't know what the fuck was going on, but something about a shout out. Hold on, let's watch
to
this.
survive.
All right, you got 5 seconds to shout out or promote anything you want directly into camera. Go.
I have YouTube.
Oh,
Please subscribe my channel to support me to bring the plight of North Koreans.
I just want to say thank you, Anthony, for having me, and shout out to you.
Me?
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, I'll shout you out. Lucy has a YouTube channel. You need to go check it out immediately. She talks a lot about this kind of stuff on there. Well, there you have it. I spent a day with North Korean defectors, and I feel like I understand what living in North Korea and
Okay.
is like.
Okay. Yeah. Alright.
A little bit more. And I commend these guests for their courage in reliving.
Yeah, very well-rounded view of life in the DPRK, guys. Just a very comprehensive look.
These heavy experiences with me today, so we can all better.
Is that Kishikami? It's oh god, I've talked about this so much, but like literally the story that Yeonmi tells is that she and her nanny, who she had to explain, she had to make sure to say like, oh, she's a Muslim with a hijab, so that she comes off as like progressive. But she claims that she was walking down Chicago, and that quote 3 big black women unquote attacked quote petite unquote Yeonmi in the middle of the day, and she was pushing like a baby stroller and everything. She comes 3 big black women came up and started beating her in the face and taking her wallet in the street and like going through her bag and shit. And while she's on the ground getting punched in the face and trying to beg people to like, call 911, she claims that a crowd of 30 to 40 she claimed white people. She claimed that 30 to 40 white people crowded around in a big circle around as she is getting punched, and that they all started chanting, "Racist, racist, you're a racist, Yeonmi," because Yeonmi was asking them as she's getting hit to like call the police. And so she told that on Joe Rogan's podcast. And frankly, it just comes off to me as a blatantly fucking like a fucking Nazi anecdote, like trying to like fucking like dehumanize black people. But she's like, basically her whole point was like, oh, America is so PC that if you get robbed, they just start chanting racist at you, and if a black person robs you, you're automatically considered a racist if you want to call the police or something like that. It was just if you want, I mean, I reviewed it on this channel, but that fucking interview with Rogan was fucking insane. Yeah.
Understand the
We are
conditions that millions
finally
of people
fucking
are
done with
living
this.
in at this very moment.
Oh, beautiful. Wait, there's a little more at the
Living in
end.
South Korea, the most common question that you get asked is, what's your favorite food? The first food that I was most shocked was definitely the fast food, the hamburgers. Hamburgers were like life-changing food.
Do you remember your first time biting into one?
You know, if you look at Ratatouille, that's how I felt. Like I bite into my I went through all of this escape progress just to eat this hamburger, and that was worth it.
Okay. Yeah, alright. So I guess she wasn't kidding about like the whole, oh, I suddenly had freedom of choice between all these fast food restaurants. I guess that was real. Alright. Wow. Well, Anthony Padilla, kind of a piece of shit. Whoever edited this video, definitely a fucking racist piece of shit. Trying to like mix in fucking like just like random footage of like China with the TPRK. Wow. Just, I mean, we have got to here, let me here. There we go. We've got to like check out these defectors sometime. Lucy, she has not started the whole super political content yet, so frankly, she was the worst one. She was way worse than Sherry here. So very strangely, because Sherry's videos are fucking. This is definitely like she's taken notes out of Yeonmi's playbook completely here. But you see the difference here. She didn't start by doing the cultural like fun clickbait content. She just went right into the whole anti-DPRK political grift, and she only has almost 7,000 subscribers, and I've seen her promoted by Yeonmi and everything too. Meanwhile, Lucy here, she has the game a little more figured out. She's got all this, cultural like Koreaboo shit going on. That brings in, American audiences, English-speaking audiences, and she's almost at 80 fucking K now. So, I would not be surprised if we start seeing more political content from this channel. Now that she's got her little her little base. But yeah, frankly, I definitely want to check out Sherry's channel sometime, because she was definitely the more she definitely has the more obviously propaganda content. There's a whole lore to discover here that I have not personally checked out. I've seen her promoted by Yeonmi before, but dude, I am so sick of fucking talking or watching about Yeonmi, so to then just go watch other defectors, it's like, I don't want to fucking waste my time. It's just, why give myself a fucking headache? However, and yes, Kishikami, Echo of Truth, they deleted their channel, I think 3 or 4 times in a row. And if you don't know what Echo of Truth is, it was a channel run from the DPRK, which basically showed videos and different content going to different places and showing us conditions on the ground, and oftentimes it would refute Western propaganda. Like, there were stories about how, every grocery store in Pyongyang is empty right now, there's no food on any shelves, and they would literally go to the grocery store and show people it's totally normal, everything's the shelves are full, things like that. And they would go to construction sites and different villages and things like that to try and show us a different, obviously a more realistic side of how things are like there. But I think that the issue, obviously the issue was they don't want people to fucking watch that content and get a different view of the DPRK. But I think that justification was that channel tried to say that there was a stable COVID-19 situation, while the West was saying how, the DPRK is going to collapse in 2 weeks from COVID-19, guys. I'm sure if you followed this stuff enough, you'd remember some of that. Yeonmi herself made 10 fucking videos about how COVID-19 is the end of the Kim regime, and then of course once it didn't happen, they suddenly flip-flopped to say, oh no, actually Kim Jong-un loves COVID-19, and the regime actually is strengthened by the crisis because they can control their people more. So it's God, it's fucking frustrating. So I'm not, because we only spent an hour on that, which was less than I thought we would. I thought we'd probably at least go 2, but I'm undecided on what I would like to watch next. But I'm really thinking that I might check out that John Oliver video on the DPRK, but I'm not positive. If I can even find it here. Here it is. And I'm pretty sure this is from 2017, during the height of the tensions. Oh. Seems there's a little spam. Bye-bye. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm gonna actually try out the John Oliver video here. Hold on. Give me one little second here. Shabam. Okay. Here we go. Let's do this. Okay.
America's #1 excuse for putting off chores this week. You know, I could do laundry, but if the world's about to erupt into nuclear war, what really is the
Also,
point?
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I'm sure that I watched this back when it came out, but I have no recollection of it. So this is just going in dark. We're gonna close out the stream with this. Probably won't take too long, but we'll see.
North Korea has clearly been on everyone's minds this week, and I think you know why.
President Trump and North Korea escalate the war of words, lobbing new threats and sending new tweets. North Korea now accusing the President of the United States of pushing the world to, quote, the brink of nuclear war.
Wow. When Twitter was invented, I bet even they didn't imagine that it would one day lead us to the brink of nuclear Armageddon. It's like if the invention of the Furby had led to the Sudanese Civil War. Who knew that that's
Oh
where
yeah, we forgot to check out the fucking YouTube comments. Hold on, let's fucking do that real quick. Yeah. Will this work? This view? I think it should work. Yeah. Okay, that's perfect actually. Worst part about this is it isn't history. People live like this today, and there's nothing we can do. It's so easy to complain at how much we hate the American government, and it's funny how the ability alone is something we take for granted. These women are incredibly brave. Yeah, this is what I thought. It's just gonna be low. You're so brave, so brave, so brave, and it inspires me to be thankful for what I do have. So basically, pro-American. It's a pro-American government comment. Great. So I'm glad this has the effect of like giving children the idea of like, oh, I'm so lucky to live under a fucking genocidal, fucking racist, fucking like modern day fucking slave state. Like, wow, we're so lucky. My family doctor is in his 70s. He born with 3 and found escape with his baby. Hold on. His parents carried him to South Korea after they walked for days, slept in buildings that were half standing. Wait. My family doctor is in his 70s. He was born in North Korea, and his family escaped when he was a baby. His parents carried him into South Korea after they walked for days, slept in buildings that were half standing, and bribed guards with everything they had. So they walked through the DMZ they bribed South Korean guards as well? Or American soldiers, to have him go through what he did and make it all the way to America after graduating medical school makes me so proud of it. I'm 40 and he's been my doctor since I was 5. The stories of terror is so brave. Okay, yeah, just you're gonna hear brave a lot. Please do something like this with the people who have escaped Afghanistan. Yeah, let's do some more regime change propaganda, diversify it up, grab some collaborators from Afghanistan, do a fun little video where they talk about hamburgers. I really wish we could help these people take their country back. It's awful seeing them suffer so much. Okay. It's just horrible that this is still people's reality. I'm so glad that they are able and brave enough to tell their stories and bring more awareness to what is actually happening. My mind really can't fathom how a country like North Korea still exists to this day. Maybe it's because your understanding of them is totally fucking flawed and like a total goddamn fairy tale, like an anti-communist fucking myth, a lore. I can't imagine how much people are suffering. Damn, we need a book from these two. Lucky their families also escaped, or I can't begin to imagine what would have happened. They literally claim, okay, it's not just their fucking, like, their immediate families, it's, okay, they literally said it's, originally it was 3 generations, 3 generations punishment, but Yeon Mi recently claimed that they upped it to 8 generations. And when she was like claimed, when Joe Rogan asked her about it, she was like, yeah, I don't even know how that's even possible, because it's fucking not. And she also claimed that even if you so much as fucking knew a defector, you also get disappeared. So she claims that all her neighbors and all of those people are fucking dead and gone. Which was refuted by the DPRK doing interviews with her neighbors and her close family and relatives, like talking about how much she fucking lies. Yeah. I'm surprised that they didn't bring up like more of their like family shit, because that's obviously like one of the biggest talking points of defectors. I'm so glad these people made it out of there. You can tell they deserve better. It's great that they can give us this information. Wow. Oh god. The story of taking a pill or cutting their wrists instead of being caught. It reminds me of my Holocaust class discussing the story of a mother who killed her crying baby. Yeah, I wonder if the Holocaust survivors would like laugh and stuff like out loud while they were like telling their stories of escaping. Like, yeah. And I also wonder if they went on fucking YouTube to talk about how much they love hamburgers and how America is so fucking awesome, amazing, and how nothing bad happens here, and how they're free, and how in America nobody is ever monitored or surveilled. Yeah. I want a movie about that girl's escape. I cannot imagine her bravery and endurance. Which one are they talking about? Are they talking about the one that she said that she got drove across the border by a fucking high-ranking general, and then she got into a taxi, and then she got into a plane? Or, well, I guess the other one story was a little more exaggerated. Like, she claimed that she was in a kimchi cellar for months until she turned yellow. This is why I should appreciate every little thing I have in Canada. Yeah, I bet those little fucking indigenous children fucking buried outside the fucking settler schools, they should have been more appreciative. They should have just, they should have been, lucky that they weren't in the DPRK, I kept thinking, wow, that's so lucky that she had a connection with a general and stuff like that. And then, of course, I realized that I wouldn't be listening to them if they hadn't been so lucky. Again, that general thing is so fucking weird. They literally claimed a high-ranking general fucking smuggled them out. Like, that is, that's very fucking brazen of them. It hurts me to know how people are treated just because their ruler is a very narcissistic. Yeah, unlike in the West, where all political leaders are just, such humble servants, obviously. All recent American presidents, no particular examples of narcissism recently. Like, how... Imagine, we live in a country where a large segment of the population, like not an insignificant number of people, believe that fucking a New York City real estate developer was sent by Jesus Christ himself to overthrow a cabal of pedophilic cannibal vampires and bring about the second coming of Christ and the fucking the end times. So thinking about North Korea makes me so frustrated and angry, because this is happening right now, we all know, but there's nothing we can do. I don't know, you guys are literally putting the harshest sanctions in human history on them. You guys have 30,000 fucking soldiers on their border. You literally leveled their fucking country to where the US Air Force reported that there was not a single building in the north that was above 1 story. They had all been fucking destroyed. All of their electricity potential, all their fucking industry, so much of their farms, every fucking city, town, and village, fucking gone. So I'm pretty sure we did a fucking lot. And it still didn't work, and it won't, even if we do it again and again and again. Except this time, if we do it again, it's not just going to be an over there war. I mean, have fun. I mean, we don't need to get into the whole fucking nuclear war thing, but mad respect to Anthony. He makes sure that everyone he interviews is always comfortable and doesn't ask them insensitive questions or say, yeah, like skepticism, like trying to get get an explanation or thing out of them. Just totally believes them, just jokes around with them, just laughs at them while they talk about escaping what they claim is modern day fucking Auschwitz. Just a fun and giggles, As a person whose parents survived the Soviet regime, this sounds unfortunately familiar to their stories. Oh my fucking god. Jesus Christ. I think spending a day with acid attack survivors would be a super educational episode. You probably wouldn't see this, but if you do, I highly recommend it. It's not talked about enough. I'm just in shock that a place like this exists today. It sounds like the book in 1984, but this is real. Yeah, crazy how it sounds like a fucking fiction novel, and how they literally take details and fucking like details and like anecdotes like almost straight from fucking 1984. Weird. Like that's also a thing. Like, you'll know, like, especially with Yami's interviews, they'll always say like, "Wow, that sounds like a movie. That sounds like a Hollywood film." And she's like, "Yeah, it's like a movie." It's like, why don't they ever connect the fucking dots? So like, yeah, this is super like sensational and like crazy. Like, how can this it defies logic. These women are so brave for telling their stories. I'm just stunned at what they had to do to go through, and what the citizens of North Korea have to go through. Yeah, I know these fucking commenters are just, some of them could be fucking, I really don't think it's above the fucking, the information war is so fucking intense that I don't believe that it's so out of the question that, like, our government could be targeting, like, popular videos and media and, like, trying to flood them with rhetoric and, like, trying to build what's the word, it's like manufacturing consent. We literally sanction the fuck out of them. Like, we've cut off 95% of their fucking exports. We've cut off 90% of their oil supply, so that they can't fucking, you can't operate a national modern economy without a lot of oil, unfortunately. No country has made that transition, unfortunately. Yet, like, let alone, like, developing countries, like, that have very fewer financial resources than us. Let alone blocked from fucking international trade. There is no fucking domestic oil supply in the DPRK. So, again, we literally we build the conditions that we want to see. We wanted there to be a famine, and so we fucking put all the restrictions we could on the DPRK, and it induced a fucking famine. We didn't, and in fact, again, this is so fucking buried underneath all the fucking propaganda, but go back and look. The fucking United States literally claimed that the DPRK was making up the fucking famine in the 90s. For the first 3 fucking years of it, they claimed that the DPRK was exaggerating the death tolls and the amount of food that they needed, because, the DPRK just wants a free UN handout. That's all they're interested in. And so, they purposely tried to prolong the famine and keep aid out of their hands, rather than like this common narrative of like, they claim that the famine never happened. They talk about it all the time in their press. They reference it all the time in their information and their books. They talk about it extensively. Okay, sorry to get hung up on that for a while. Can we take a moment to appreciate how courageous it is of them to speak out and share their story? Yeah, I told you, it's going to be brave, courageous, Anthony has truly become so good. Oh my god, shut the fuck up. The fact that there might be a lot of people failed trying to escape is sad. It's terrible that they have to go. It's terrible what they had to go through. They are so strong and brave. Thank you for tell your story. Learning about life in North Korea is so interesting and crazy, especially when you're like me and have lived in America your whole life. yeah, spend your time learning about DPRK, like, made up fucking atrocities instead of fucking looking in your own fucking backyard and seeing, like, the most complex and brutal fucking prison state that has ever existed in the history of humanity. Like, fucking Nazi Germany took notes from us. That's... The thing that shocked me the most was that in both cases they had a suicide method. The things they would have to have experienced if they had been caught were worse than death itself. The fact that young girls are forced to join his harem is just vile. What fucking monster. Oh yeah, like I talked to this before, but like literally these fucking defectors claim that like, oh, Kim Jong-un personally comes into the kindergarten classes and picks out the little girls he wants to be raised in his pleasure squad. You know, that's the most. It's fucking. I mean, it's porn for Western audiences. That's what it is. It's you know. What really stood out to me in both their stories was how many people showed compassion, trying to help them leave, despite how it could hurt them. Those people are still there behind the border. And I mean, obviously, they don't fucking mention like the fucking the South Korean brokers and the missionaries who sell these fake stories of how, oh, you're going to be rich and that South Korea is a land of plenty for everybody, and then they go and, you know, they end up like some defectors who fucking starve to death in the fucking winter. Let alone not the defectors, the brokers and missionaries who literally sell women into the sex trade. Like, that's like, how the fuck do they think that happens? Like, they don't get caught and sell, they get tricked by fucking people who they think are well-meaning, and then they get fucking sold off into fucking slavery. And then the defectors have the fucking gall to claim that the DPRK sells its women. And part of that is to try, I really think that part of that narrative is to try and deflect and distract people from the real fucking abductions and kidnappings, which fall on fucking Japan, for the kidnapping and sexual enslavement of 350,000 Korean women and girls for the Japanese Imperial Army. Not to mention, I don't know if you guys remember, there was that whole story about how, I think it was like 13, 14 North Korean waitresses had defected from a restaurant in China to South Korea, and how it was put in the press as like, oh, they're leaping to freedom. Oh, it's such a brave act, and then literally it came out that they were all fucking tricked by a broker, and that every single one of them wanted to go back. None of them wanted to go to South Korea. They thought they would be able to go back, and they immediately had all. Of course, when you get to South Korea, you're fucking stuck there. You cannot fucking leave. And so they've literally been advocating for years now to go back to their families, but they're being fucking held there. And of course, zero fucking press coverage about that. Zero, none. They were all tricked by a broker who actually worked for the National Intelligence Service into defecting. And you can look that up. Look up like North Korean waitresses, NIS or something like that. You know, some other variation of that, and you'll find sources for that. Bless the North Korean soldiers that help people escape. Those people are absolute heroes. Let these stories be a lesson to everyone who actually let these stories be a lesson to everyone who actually thinks that there are societal values like safety, fairness, etc. that are more important than freedom. Okay. Now, some disappointing thing about this is the fact that we can't do anything about it. We probably just make it worse for our country and their citizens. We are doing, again, this is the dangerous thing about not giving your fucking audience context. Not fucking telling them about the sanctions, or the war, or any of the things that we've done to the DPRK, because they literally go off and think, wow, we're doing nothing about the DPRK. So when it's suggested that we go and fucking put new restrictions on them, or do a new military provocation against them, they think, oh wow, we're finally going to do something about this? Wow, I support that. Makes me so fucking angry. These are impressionable fucking young people. Like, at least most of them. Imagine the shell shock they go through going from one of the most isolated and anti-modernist countries in the world to going to places like South Korea or Japan. It's like going into a time machine and traveling 50 years into the future. God bless them and their bravery, though. Yeah, I'm sure all those fucking comfort women were so fucking relieved when they got to Japan, or those Korean slaves got to Japan and had to go work in fucking Japanese wartime factories, and had to fucking they weren't allowed to fucking speak their language. They had their fucking names taken away so they could give Japanese fucking slave titles. So that there are records of Koreans that people don't have records of their families because they only were known in Japan by the name that they were given by the Japanese fucking imperialists. I mean, fucking, I think it was like 1 in every 5 of the people who died in Hiroshima was a Korean slave. And in fact, the bomb was dropped almost, like, very, very close to the area where Korean slave labor was, like, centralized. So... And also, there were like it was like 50,000 in Hiroshima and like 30,000 in Nagasaki that were killed. Yeah, I'm sure they were so fucking lucky to be shipped off to Japan, where it's 50 years in the future. And it also plays into that whole fucking myth pushed by Japanese fucking nationalists, far right nationalists, that actually the occupation and colonization of Korea was actually a blessing to them because, you see, we built a railroad that one time and we built some infrastructure here and there. So actually, enslaving a few million Koreans, kidnapping 500,000 women, like slaughtering them, banning their fucking language, it was actually a fucking net benefit to them. So I fucking hate these goddamn comments. Fucking awful. Before I die or get old, I want to wake up from my bed and see on the TV, North Korea has been liberated. Kim Jong-un, or whoever is there at the time, has been arrested and will be charged. North Korea is free. Unfortunately, that's not gonna happen, and you're gonna fucking die alone and sad and miserable. I would also recommend... No, fuck you. North Korea is one of the reasons why I appreciate every single thing I have, no matter how big or small. It's truly heartbreaking, and I pray they all get their needed freedom. It sounds like North Korea treats its citizens like zoo animals rather than people. When the regime is gone, their world will be better. I think that's you guys treating them like fucking zoo animals and fucking using them for your own goddamn entertainment. But okay. Like, literally, you just fucking watched a video about how they claim the Koreans don't know even that... They literally claim that they don't know flight exists there. Like... As a mom, I can't even imagine being in a situation that the better choice would be to end my children's life, that being caught, or that I would feel the need to escape so badly and potentially have to make that decision. My eyes have been open and my heart is now breaking. Jesus. Oh, here we go. I'm literally listening to the audiobook In Order to Live by Yeonmi Park, which is a memoir about this very same situation. Yeah, weird how Yeonmi's friends had like very similar talking points and story points. Incredible timing with this video. They're literally like they're literally living like the dystopian fiction we read about. I wonder why. It's super depressing. These women are really brave. Don't know how much of this would appeal to everyone else, but personally, I'd love to... I just want to give them both a big, big hug. They're so brave and strong, and I'm glad that they're still here with us. Wow, when she says that neighbors are encouraged to spy on others, that almost sounds like government encouraging others to report anyone who helps a woman get abortions. It's kind of terrifying, the idea of this kind of control. I am grateful to live in the US nonetheless. Isn't that weird how, like, literally the shit that they're claiming happens in the DPRK is literally happening, like, here in the United States? But they're like, oh, I'm so grateful to be here anyway, even though... like, what? What? I'm South Korean, and I can't really believe that North Koreans, just a few kilometers away from us, are experiencing these tortures and brainwash and miserable and meaningless lives just because of one sicko family who will burn in hell for doing that to millions of people. I can't imagine the kind of punishment the Kim family would face after their death. Thanks, Winnie. My heart is so full for these women. They risked everything for their freedom. I've read a lot about North Korea, and this has opened my eyes even more. I nearly cried. You obviously have not read a lot about the DPRK. I respect all the people who escaped and those who shared. I feel so bad and selfish I can't help them. They are so brave, and I respect them so much. Yeah, so this is about what I expected from the comments section, sadly. Let's see, hold on, let me see if there's any other good ones here. Hold on. I wish there were some questions on how did they build back their lives in a foreign country with little to no money or support. I mean, that's a good question, and I mean, the South Korean government, I mean, they don't pay you just because you're a fucking defector. I mean, if you are fucking useful to them, they will give you a lot of fucking support. I mean, they just recently, I think a couple of years ago, they raised the they have a cash bonus if you have any significant information about the DPRK. It used to be like $500,000. I think they raised it to $850,000. Back in, I think, 2017, 2018. And obviously, there's a huge circuit for defectors. I mean, speaking tours, television shows, interviews, books, now fucking podcasts and YouTube. I mean, there's tons of opportunities for people who are willing to say what they have to say to get that paycheck. I've watched so many NK documentaries and read books, and I could not believe this was happening. The fact that a 10-year-old has to come to terms with their own suicide is insane. I couldn't even imagine. They're true stories. Yeonmi Park. There's no such thing as a dessert in North Korea. Ooh. That is the first fucking good comment. Oh my god, let's see the replies. Hold on. Also, Yeonmi, people push the train to make you run because there's very little electricity in North Korea. Yes, here we fucking go. Really comparing North Korean people and their stories, you do realize that these women most likely escaped in different years. Don't doubt someone else's struggles just because you don't like them. That's their story, not yours. You can't shrug off their lived experiences. So you believe everything Yeonmi Park says? I believe that's her story, and what she went through. You have to account for the years they escaped and their social status in North Korea. So I believe these fucking ladies say that they were in Kim Jong-un's pleasure squad. Park Yeon-mi claimed that she was in the North Korean elite and that she was, quote, the Paris Hilton of North Korea. What the fuck do you mean their social status? They were apparently all at the fucking tippy top. So I believe every survivor's story. It's not up to me to say she's wrong because I wasn't there. It's not fair to hate and not believe someone because you don't believe in their political stance. I know exactly why so many people childishly hate her. Obviously, you fucking don't. But damn, these two fucking MVPs right here. I've always been interested in North Korea and how people are able to escape, / if there's any ways we can get more out. So thank you for doing that. It's nearly impossible to always appreciate the things you have right now. It's become such a norm that it just slips off our minds constantly. But definitely take a few minutes out of your day every now and then when you can to soak that in and be glad you have that kind of privilege. Yeah, I'm sure the fucking hundreds of thousands of black and brown people fucking put into modern day fucking slavery in U.S. prisons and basically fucking labor camps, or I'm sure the children at the fucking detention facility or concentration camps at the fucking border. I'm sure that they're so fucking that privilege, soaking in that privilege. Oh, they're so lucky. Oh, you should do. Oh, damn it! I thought there was a comment about them. I was like, I spend a day with so. That would have been a much better title for this video. Damn, it's just so sad that all of us can't do anything to help them, and the fact that Sherry said that her sister would commit them, and fuck off. I don't care what Sherry said. I realized this started in the 1950s. It hasn't. What started the wait. Oh my god, these people literally think that like the DPRK was founded in the 50s or something. I guess they think Korean War is when it all began. That is how a lot of Americans' understanding is. They don't know anything beyond that point. They all think it begins in 1950. Again, that's what you get for intentionally leaving out context, and making sure that your audience is totally fucking ignorant as to like history or any of that. I started reading a book for school about the labor camps in North Korea. This video is very eye-opening. Thank you for giving people a platform to share. Fuck off, God. God, this breaks my heart. So much suffering and terror in the world, and we focus on such absurdities. Yeah, we need to focus on realities, like how people can push fucking trains and shit like that. Yeah, and how everybody in the DPRK has survived off of tree bark and rats and grass soup for the last 25 years. Very, very realistic stuff like that. Not any of this absurd stuff. Dude, this is crazy. I was just learning about this exact topic in my government class today. Fuck, it makes me so sad. I genuinely fucking pity the children of America. I hope North Koreans will soon earn the freedom and rights they've always deserved. Oh, here's a personal story. Thank you, Anthony. Please keep up the good work. My dad was a war refugee as a teen in the 70s. Wait. In the 70s? When he was about 13, the militia tried to taking him, and my grandparents hid him inside a big suitcase so he wouldn't be taken away. And this happened several times until my grandparents had enough money to bribe the military to let them out of the country. He always told me stories about those times, but I will never be able to fully understand what he went through. What? The 70s? Is he talking about Korea? Or even, like... So 20 years after the war... Okay, that's just... yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, pretty much just about what I expected. In fact, hold on, let's go to the newest comments. Let's go through those real quick. These are just like the top ones. That one's not be interesting. See, get a more real sense of what's coming in here. I from Myanmar, and I totally related to some of them. Oh god. Fucking another regime change ghoul. Oh, I guess YouTube is recommending you again. I wonder why. Yes. Man, North Korea sucks. Oh, I was definitely expecting Yeonmi to be in this. I mean, it would. Honestly, I mean, it would have been a fucking. Again, I think Yeonmi prepped him for this, so she didn't even have to be here. She's too busy on Sean Hannity and Glenn Beck and Jordan Peterson and Dave Rubin, all those fucking far right grifters. Not the propaganda. There's a really good documentary on YouTube about North Korean defectors who want to go back to North Korea. I wonder which one he's talking about. God, I think I know. The South Korean government pays... Oh, this is a good post. The South Korean government pays defectors to tell stories like this. Do I think North Korea is a good country to live? Oh, no, shit. No. But study their history. Okay, fair point. There's a reason why the country is the way it is and why certain things happened in the past. I wish the West would ease up and let them live. Same with Cuba. Stop all the blockades. Stop forcing democracy on people who don't want it. Okay, well, it's not about fucking democracy at all, but I wish I could have liked that comment, but it's a little too, well, like 75% good. Fuck it. I'll give it a like. These women should get some nice sponsorship from some nice companies, and we as people should band together to get the North Korean people the help they need. Yeah, like maybe sanctions. God, it pisses me off that they didn't mention anything about that. And of course, I mean, if they did, it would have just been a fucking opportunity for them to say, like, these effectors, all of them say that we are actually being super duper. We're using child gloves with the DPRK, and how we're so nice to them and so light, and we never do anything to them, and they just walk all over us. You know, they never talk about the effect of sanctions, and if they do, they always, without fail, they claim that the sanctions only affect Kim Jong-un personally. Yeonmi Park claimed that the sanctions, that the oil sanctions, I'm sorry. Yeonmi Park claimed that the oil sanctions, which I'm so sorry, I keep stuttering. She claimed that the oil sanctions, which cut 90% of the DPRK's oil supply, that only affects Kim Jong-un's personal car, and that's the only thing that's affected by the sanctions, is just Kim Jong-un's personal life. Like, that's the only person who, the restrictions on coal, on textiles, on all the DPRK's major exports, those are only affect Kim Jong-un and nobody else. The fact that North Korea is actually a lot worse than they could describe in what? Liberals acting sad when they're making the US become like North Korea. Jesus. What happens if you fail at the test for the pleasure squad? Do you just not get the job, or do you go to a prison camp? You're now on Kim's list. Oh yes. They're gonna come after Anthony Padilla. We're gonna see that headline next week. He was killed with a nerve agent. This is legitimately just like 1984, only it's happening in real life and in a different continent. Jeez. Yeonmi Park should have been on here too. Much love, and thank God they are free. I don't know why we don't take this as seriously as the Holocaust sometimes. I don't know, maybe they were like, because they were fucking laughing and making jokes about it the entire time, like, and like on YouTube they literally fucking dress these people up as fucking DPRK officers and like make them try hamburgers and fucking like steaks and shit. Maybe that's why a lot of people don't fucking take it that seriously. Because as much as you claim that they're fucking used like zoo animals, like it seems like we use them as that much more so. I'm sure a good portion of it is politics. Yeah, it's totally, yeah, the West, you know, they just want to hide the DPRK human rights abuses. My family experienced similar treatment while being in the Soviet regime. We've heard the word Soviet regime like 3 times now. This is giving me 1984 novel vibes. Everyone check out the documentary Loyal Citizens of Pyongyang in the video Why is North Korea so weird? Fuck yeah. Fuck yes, dude. Nice. Those are both great videos. I think that was Hakeem. Yeah, that was a great video. I might watch that sometime. Eventually I want to do a stream of like just pro DPRK. I actually really want to watch Loyal Citizens of Pyongyang and Seoul. Just in case like nobody's seen it or something like that, but I don't know, maybe next time, maybe the time after. We'll see. I'd love to see Uyghurs or Palestinians. Not a lot of people know how much they're suffering for years. Be careful which Palestinians you choose because the DPRK and Palestine are close allies. So, Wait, so Sherry's family is still in North Korea? I'm surprised that she is still able to talk to them and they are not tortured by the government. I wonder, because I was told that 95 billion generations of her family would be slaughtered, and how if she so much as talked to someone in the North Korea and that if she defected, they'd all be fucking slaughtered and put into a camp or something weird. But yeah, that is a very good point. How she claims that she talks to them every single year. Wait, what fucking brain blast? She claims that she is a well-known defector. The DPRK knows who her family is. She just claimed that she calls them every fucking year. Wouldn't her saying that literally mean a fucking death sentence? Wouldn't if whoever official like watches this, wouldn't they immediately just tear the fuck out of all their fucking houses and like just immediately fucking kill all of them? Like, what a weird thing to fucking like. That is a very big plot hole right there. Okay, heated Yeonmi Park isn't in this, but Kay, oh my fucking god, don't worry, she fucking talked to them beforehand, don't worry. She got everything she needed out there. It makes me cry that people are forced to live like this and that there are people in North America so babied and protected that they think this is what they want their world to turn into, not realizing how it really is. Okay. Yeah, the reality is that they don't know that any other countries exist, and they don't know flight exists, and they have to push trains every day. Yeah, that's really how it is. You should do a video on how Palestinians have escaped too. Okay. I had no idea about the pleasures being picked from teen girls to be trained. I'm not surprised, but wow, it's disgusting. Also, the fact that they thought marble was ice shows how deprived the citizens are. Is there any possibility North Korean working together to fight against the leader? What do y'all think? Yeah, it's also funny how like they in this video they reiterated a bunch of times how, oh, in the DPRK they don't even know that they're being oppressed. They don't even know that they're slaves. Meanwhile, their fucking best friend Yeonmi makes fucking videos all the time about how, oh, this city just rose up. This army unit just started a coup. Literally, she just claimed this earlier this year that the city of Musan had risen up. 300,000 people had risen up, and that the entire city, right at the border with China, literally just separated by the river, the Yalu, they had taken control of the city, and how Kim Jong-un was now rushing units to the area to put down the revolt. And yeah, she made that one YouTube video, and then it was fucking radio silence. Never heard about it again. A city of 350,000 people, apparently controlled by the rebels. Never heard of fucking people about it ever again. And she's made like tons of videos about how there's a coup, there's an uprising, you know, in this part, you know. But yeah, they don't know they're being oppressed, and it's unthinkable that they would ever rise up. The dislikes are probably North Korean sympathizers, North Koreans who have access to technology like YouTube. Alright, let me join the club. Boom. Wow, 3. God, that's sad. It's so great that you interview those girls, but it feels like the China part is missing. Hope people understand CCP is supporting North Korea. CCP is the biggest evil in the world. Yeah, I remember it was famously it was the CCP who killed 4 million Koreans in the war. Yeah, it was the CCP who carpet bombed the North and targeted dams to flood villages and dropped fucking plague and dropped like invasive species to destroy the ecological balance, and who committed tens of thousands of rapes, and yeah, totally. Nothing more brave than these women. You may think you're safe where you are, but don't ever feel too safe. I watched this video not too long ago about the missing North Korean defector, and just because you escaped doesn't mean that you are 100% safe. The defector literally claimed that she is totally even though, okay, one defector claimed that she was totally safe, and then one defector claimed that she's under threat by kidnapping. Even though they're in the exact same place. But yeah. This is one example for why freedom of speech is so important. I wonder why Kim Jong-un hasn't sniped them in the head yet. Yeah, I wonder why. I guess those DPRK agents are just so incompetent that they can't ever seem to get a defector. Weird. My grandma and her family escaped North Korea. Cool. Yeah, we're wrapping this up now. So if you want to get the juicy stuff, you'll have to watch the VOD, unfortunately. But we're just going through the comments now. I'm about to wrap this all up, but Americans always clown on how America sucks, but I'm so fucking grateful that I'm middle class American with opportunities. Yeah, you should be grateful. Holy shit, I'm watching this video. I'm about to turn into a fullness country. Holy shit, I'm watching this video and I'm about to turn into a fullness country cowboy. Okay. Yeah, it must be really nice being middle class in America and having opportunities. That must be fucking amazing. It is such a blessing that I and many others live in a good country where we don't face anything remotely to this. God bless. Yeah, there are no prison camps in the West. There's no surveillance, nothing like that. There's no hunger, no homelessness, nothing. It's all just amazing. We don't face anything remotely like that. Yeah, that's it. Non-existent here. Yeah. What would it take to demolish the North Korean government? I just want all their citizens to be safe and not held to these impossible standards. Thank you, and I'm so happy there are North Koreans who experience the freedoms that they deserve. Those countries who are free, be careful and never give up your rights and freedoms, even if it is for, quote, the greater good. Yeah, I think at the heart of this was a lot of anti-communist propaganda, and obviously you can tell the impression that it made on a lot of people. It's very disappointing, but the fact that Americans cry about injustice or oppression when people actually have to live like this is incredible. That's American privilege right there. Yeah, again, the hundreds of thousands of black and brown people in fucking modern day labor camps, and you know, who knows how many fucking children taken from their fucking families in detention, quote, detention facilities, concentration camps. They're such privileged people. Yes, such privileged people. The homeless, you know, the hungry, so privileged. I didn't know the outside world exist. What a shock. Okay. I love how, like, Trump and a portion of the GOP want to dictate America like this. It's just all this weird partisan shit in the fucking comments, just like, this side wants to be North Korea. No, this side wants to be North Korea. Like, was that pro-DPRK? I don't know. This makes me extremely sad. It breaks my heart. No one should have to go through this. Check out Yeonmi Park's YouTube channel. She was a defector herself and makes videos all the time on this problem. How do these ladies all speak perfect English? Do they teach English as a second language in North Korea? Actually, there's a whole fucking business. That's actually a very good point, because there's a whole thing about... Oh, wait. From Anthony Padilla. They learned it well after they escaped. Not only is English taught in the DPRK as like a major language, but also for defectors who don't speak, who don't know any English, there are a lot of because after when you're selected by the NIS as a fucking asset, you're gonna immediately go to fucking re-education, and you're gonna and a lot of these groups are run by far right think tanks, literally directly funded by groups like and they talked about this in that documentary, Loyal Citizens of Pyongyang and Seoul. They're literally funded by companies like ExxonMobil, MasterCard, Koch Industries, and they operate schools there, which basically teach anti-communist re-education, and basically rewrite the entire history of the DPRK to basically their real history is pleasure squads and starvation and, you know, all these things like that, and they teach them how to speak English, because what fucking use are they gonna be to American propaganda, to the information war, if they can't speak English? Like, they want them to speak English so that they can fucking put them on YouTube and put them on interviews and put them on speaking tours, make them write books. like this is a very complicated like I want to say industry, but it's like an operation. I mean, it's very, very complicated. It's got a lot of interconnecting parts, and it's very, very difficult. Like I didn't even know all the stuff that was in Loyal Citizens of Pyongyang and Seoul. They really did an amazing job at trying to piece a lot of it together. And yes, we've already finished the video. We're just going through the comments now. It'll be up for a VOD, and it'll be up as a VOD in like 10 minutes. I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. But yes, you were a little late if you're just tuning in. We already finished the video. I almost started another video. I was gonna watch this John Oliver North Korea video, but I think I'm gonna save that for next time. And also like these children that they did a podcast about me, and I did a little reply, and they did another one. So I'm gonna watch through it next time. But yeah, we've already gone through all the content for tonight. I have no right to complain about anything after hearing what these women have to go through. I think thousands of people from the outside just need to run to North Korea and let those people know I would happily die for people that might get a chance. Oh my god, that would just take all the anti-DPRK people and just let them have their fucking, let them run through the DMZ, through that fucking, the biggest fucking minefield in the world. Oh, what a sight that would be. God. We complain or take for granted, we complain or take for granting the life we live right now, but it's people like these girls that reminds us that instead of complaining and taking for granted our lifestyles here in our countries, that what we have is a blessing and we should be grateful every day. I do hope one day North Korea's dictatorship ends and that its people can finally be free. It angers me that a man can be so power hungry that they would do everything for people to obey them. Such a disregard of human life, and for what? His own selfishness. Yes, power hungry men only exist in DPRK. Very exclusive trait. It's a biological trait of the Koreans. Power hungriness, of course. I think we're pretty much finished here. I think we're pretty much, yeah, got to the meat of it. I'm glad I went through these comments though. These have been very interesting. And also fucking very depressing. But it is interesting to see like how this was received. Obviously it had the intended effect. It's very sad. It's very disappointing. And yeah, I agree, Kishkami. Just like trying, like obviously, like you look at all these comments and they're talking about how lucky they are, and you know how privileged we must be. I mean, it's just so weird. Like they can't. These are well-known things, and like they can't piece them together. That like everything that they say about the DPRK is many times more true and verifiable that we do ourselves. Like concentration camps, labor camps, we have those everywhere. We have so fucking many of those. Prison labor is everywhere. Meanwhile, they're fucking dying from fucking COVID, and they're being, I mean, fucking, I just read yesterday how, I think it was in Arkansas, they're being fucking fed ivermectin to fight the fucking, an outbreak in a fucking jail. Like, we have the largest prison population in the world. We have I mean, it's It's just so upsetting. We have like 1 million people homeless. I mean, with 20 million vacant homes. Meanwhile, these motherfuckers talk about how, oh, every house in the DPRK is just an empty facade. It's all just walls with a roof on it. Meanwhile, we're the fucking country with empty homes. We're the fucking ones that keep people unnecessarily unhoused. What, I think something like it would cost, I've heard it would cost less than $10 billion to permanently end homelessness in this country, and that figure just makes me mad all the fucking time to think about. Like, what about freedom from homelessness? What about freedom from hunger? What about freedom from, like, unemployment? What about freedom from not having health insurance? What about freedom from illiteracy and lack of education? Like, what kind of life is that, to, like, have everything that is so necessary for life be so unstable and just be able to have it taken and ripped out from under your feet at a moment's notice? What kind of freedom is that? Oh, but I can choose between the regular mac and cheese craft and the mac and cheese craft with the animal figure pasta. Oh, so fucking lucky. So fucking lucky. God bless America. Why every North Korean has black hair. The fuck? What was the replies to that? Because they're Asian. Because they're Asian. Okay. North Korea sounds based from Guy Fieri. You should do Holocaust survivors or people who lived under USSR. Yeah, the people who fucking support Cuba but not the DPRK are just like, how they obviously don't know fucking anything about Cuba or the DPRK. Otherwise they might fucking know like how close of allies they are and how like they pretty much align on almost every single fucking issue. I mean, like, people don't know about how the DPRK sent them like 50,000 AK-47s and tons of ammunition without asking for a penny, or that Kim Il-sung volunteered to send DPRK soldiers to fight and fucking die for fucking Cuban soil if the US invaded. Or, you know, all of the economic, cultural and economic exchange they fucking do over the years. Or people don't know that fucking Miguel Diaz-Canel Bermudez, he fucking visited Pyongyang, I think in 2018. Huge reception, hundreds of thousands of people lining the streets to welcome him. Yeah. North Korea is a slowly dying country. Okay. Some of my best friends escaped from North Korea, and I just gotta say that North Korean defectors are some of the kindest people you'll ever meet. They really know how to take care of each other. They are also wildly fun when they get drunk, so never pass up an opportunity to get drinks from North Koreans. I mean, I think generally speaking, that's probably true. Like, people very ignorantly think that like we're trying to like or trying to not doubt, but like trying to stir up feelings against defectors generally, and that is not the case. Like, we are the last thing we fucking want is people to go just generally after any defector. Like, we're talking about the people who their careers and the way they make their living is by talking against their country, making up sensational stories that obviously don't make any sense. And there are plenty of defectors who call out the money grubbing fucking grifters who fucking they can't recognize the country that they're talking about. Like, they've never experienced anything like what these defectors are claiming. Even though these defectors claim that they were at the tippy top of the social ladder, and like these other defectors are like, you know, farmers, you know, workers, you know, typical working people, and they can't relate to any of these fucking anecdotes. So it's definitely, like, defectors themselves are not terrible people. I mean, there are a lot of people who, did have to, who were, I mean, when hard times come, there are plenty of people who are going to pick up their bags and go very, very quickly. Frankly, a lot of them would have been better off to, I mean, sadly, would have been better off to have stayed. There are many people who, again, defectors who, like, life is not fucking cozy if you're not a fucking rich, you know, celebrity defector. Like, again, fucking, I should look it up right now. Hold on. Let me just find the stories about the defectors who, like, starve. Yes, here we go. No, here we go. There we go. Yeah, there's some coverage about in 2019 about a woman who starved to death in the South Korean in that system, and her child as well. Her 6-year-old son, it says. It's yeah, but this is the fucking reality for a lot of defectors, you know. Sadly. Here. I think we're pretty much done here, though. Wait, here's another person saying this. Wait, so people in Sherry's families are still in North Korea? Will they be in trouble because she escaped and speaking up like this? That's a huge fucking plot hole that they did not fucking think about. That is a huge plot hole in their stories. Damn, they did not fucking rehearse it enough. Yeah, okay, we're never gonna get into the stuff that some of the stuff we've already read, I see. Still blows my mind that Kim Jong-un is the only obese person in the country. I mean, not only is he not fucking obese, but I mean, like there are, I mean, if it's always that these people never fucking watched anything from the DPRK, because there's plenty of people who, even by Western standards, I guess, are like quote unquote like overweight. Like there's like you see them all the time. Like it's not a fucking, granted, absolutely, are most people in the DPRK slim and like pretty like healthy looking? Yes, like, but are they fucking like skin and bones, like starving? No. That's, again, these people live 20 years in the fucking past. They think the famine is still fucking ongoing. Like, how the fuck do you even reason with them when they're that fucking, like, we live in two different fucking centuries, basically. They're stuck back in 1997. But a lot of people in America want communism, especially Gen Z. Wow. Surprised at that one. People don't necessarily want communism, just anything but capitalism. But of course, that's just how the world is. Too many big men wanting money. So you don't want money, okay, but what do you want then? You think you could live from air? Oh my fucking god. I suggest you go live in North Korea. We can trade you for one of the North Korean defectors desperately trying to escape for their life. Thank you. Jesus. I wonder why there's not Yeonmi Park in this interview, since she's the most public North Korean. Again, I'm pretty fucking sure she worked with them on this, so. This sounds really unbelievable, you know? Being from America, I've heard about this stuff happening in foreign countries a long time ago, before any wars or anything like that. it's hard to understand where these people come from and had to escape from. It's crazy. Yes, it does sound really unbelievable. I wonder why. Many times I've complained about my country, Mexico, for reasons that are known worldwide, but watching this video and listening to the testimonies reminds me that was very lucky to have been born with the freedom to make and decide. Hopefully one day the world will stop fighting and dividing for stupid reasons that the media establishment sells to us every day, and we'll get up to fight the real enemies and dictatorships. Yeah, it's the media establishment that is just, you know, holding us back from the real truth about the DPRK. And they're trying to, I don't know, they seem to be uniting you guys entirely about murdering millions of Koreans again, so. We are already in war with the Taliban. Why don't we just give them a choice? Either free your people or we will free them for you. No matter who you are, you shouldn't have control of all those people. Oh yeah, we're gonna free them. Yeah. Those Afghans and Iraqis, so free, so god, the freest countries in the fucking world now. Yeah. It all worked out. Oh my god, there's like religious people in here as well. Never would I have thought a member of Smosh would be interviewing an escaped victim from an evil dictatorship. Yeah, actually, that is a good point. I would have fucking guessed this timeline. But here we are. Joe Rogan sent me here. Oh my god, did Joe Rogan fucking promote this video? The reason why North Korea hates the US is basically because US and Russia are the ones which divide. Oh my fucking god, shut the US and Russia are the ones who divided Korea into South and North. Most North Koreans are friendly to South Koreans because they are from the same root and thinks that it is such a sad thing for a country to be divided. Well, that's true. That's why they categorize the US as enemies. They also hate Japan as well because Japan colonized Korea in the past, and during the process, tons of Koreans got tortured and murdered for years. Mostly true. I mean, that's even that context would have been. It wouldn't have been satisfactory, but it would have been fucking something. God. Oh god, thank you so much for sharing stories like these on your channel. A lot of people are unaware that these atrocities occur around the world. Please consider doing a video on Cubans who have fled the island. Many crossed borders and even risked their lives at sea to come here. Right now the government is trying really hard to censor the Cuban people and have even passed a law making it illegal to speak out about the situation on the internet. Yeah, Anthony, go to fucking Miami. Set up your little stage there. You get lots of new little stories, anti-communist lore. Man, go back to Smosh. What's wrong? Are you a butthurt comment? I don't know. It doesn't look like a very communist account, but This video reminds me of the time someone earnestly told me that you can't say the North Korean dictatorship is bad if you live in America. And I was just like, what? America is flawed deeply, but we have many freedoms that we take for granted every day, and this freedom very clearly shows. God. Yeah, it very clearly shows, and again, the largest prison population in the world, more fucking genocides, and just There has never been a state in the history of the human race that has destroyed so many, like, not just countries, but peoples, cultures, languages, like religions, like hundreds of them, hundreds. Like, I think that is a much clearer representation of America than these so-called freedoms that are so incredibly exaggerated. Meanwhile, I mean, of course, freedom of speech. Okay, what about, again, freedom from dying from lack of health care, which is a basic human right. Freedom from employment, which is a basic human right. Freedom for education, or like the freedom to get an education, which is a basic human right. The freedom to have a home, a dwelling. Nothing like that. Meanwhile, they have all of those things in the DPRK. All of them. And they make a lot more differences, a lot bigger difference to everyday people's lives than me being able to go on Twitter and fucking post like tons of fucking like racist or transphobic shit. So, which is so great. Oh, I'm so fucking glad that people can do that. Oh, it's just the best. I love that fucking Nazis can fucking rally whenever the fuck they want and fucking march on streets and shit. Like, oh, so fucking nice. So fucking nice. I'm going insane because of North Korea doesn't have freedom. This is violence. Down with the dictators. Nailed it. Stacking rocks to escape? How does that work? Yeah, that was a very strange story. Like she's being monitored 24/7. She's in a fucking mayor's villa, which again, mayors don't exist in the DPRK. But she has like all these rocks to like stack and shit, and I guess she just spreads them out when she's that makes no sense to me, but whatever. I learned much about North Korea through Yeonmi Park, but I had no idea that you get punished if there's dust on the portraits in your own house. I wish there was anything we could do to help the citizens of North Korea. God. These women are so beyond brave. In South Korea, it's so poor that they have to sell blood to survive. North Korean propaganda. Me, a US college student that knows 5 people selling plasma to pay rent this month. Yep. And they literally said that like it's some fairy tale myth that like, oh, nobody in the West has to ever do something like that. Like, yes, everybody fucking, like any young person going to fucking school knows people like that. Okay. I think we are gonna wrap this up now. We've read enough comments for today. We're past. Oh god, we spent like an hour fucking reading comments. Jeez. That was. I mean, God, this was like. It just. I mean. I wonder if we're gonna be seeing more of these because obviously, Yeonmi right now is like. Maybe the reason that they didn't have Yeonmi on is because of how controversial that she is right now. Like, she is not... Like, you do not want... Like, if I was advising Anthony Padilla on this, and I was a scumfuck, I would be telling him, yeah, don't get Yeonmi. Don't just go with the fucking adjacent defectors because they'll don't worry, they'll bring enough propaganda. You don't want to take that fucking heat right now. She's on fucking Fox News. She's fucking teaming up with the fucking governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee. She's fucking on Glenn Beck, Dave Rubin, Jordan Peterson's daughter, Joe Rogan. Like she's a little radioactive right now, as in the lib circles. So I'm wondering if, and of course, again, it's only going to be young women in their 20s. These women, I wonder if we were going to be seeing more of these women and more appearances by them in trending videos. To try to kind of, because it really is bad that a lot of the anti-DPRK scene kind of hinged a lot of their stuff on Yeonmi, because like she is like the last like her story isn't straight. She can't ever handle, I mean, obviously, like, all her interviews are just fucking softballs, like softball questions after softball question. Like, she can't, like, they were on Fox News, they were talking about how when she was on Hannity, they were talking about how, oh, we want to send you to every single college campus in America. And Sean Hannity and Governor Mike Huckabee agreed to, like, split the expense of sending her across the country on a nationwide tour. And it's like, she would never fucking, I don't think it's going to happen. It's been 2 months now, I don't think it is. It would never hold up, because she cannot handle any skepticism. Like, she would crumble immediately. Like, granted, I know, like, college campuses, I mean, I'm not expecting, like, a bunch of, like, Marxist Leninists to show up or anything, but, like, even, like, just skeptical liberals would be able to punch so many holes into her story. Like, it would be insane. I'm guessing if she ever did, it would just be speaking, no questions, you know, things like that. Oh, here, let me get a comment in the chat list before I go. Hold on. Even after knowing that how badly she's been exposed after the Joe Rogan podcast, Yami still has the audacity to make such BS videos. But one thing I noticed in this video is that no mention of China or America, but only the old made-up lies. Yeah, that is one key difference, is that Yeonmi recently, in the last year or so, has started, because she knows that she's worth a lot more if she's also propagandizing against China. So now she's pushing the line that the only way to deal with the DPRK is through China, and she constantly rants about the CCP. And in fact, there was I wish I could find, it's one of her old interviews from last year, but she talked a lot about how she blames the CCP for, she's upset at them because apparently there was a huge Hollywood blockbuster movie deal in the works to make Yeonmi's life story into a multi-million-dollar film. And she claims that the CCP and Xi Jinping personally stepped in and put pressure on the movie company to drop her like movie production deal. And so yeah, I predict that I expect that, or I hypothesize that, like, she probably is a little upset that she got lost a big payday, and so now she wants to blame China. But apart from that, of course, she's not, like, now, like, the conservatives who have her on, it's a 2-for-1. They get to propagandize against the DPRK, and they get to propagandize against China. But obviously these two girls, Lucy and Cherry, aren't yet on the anti-China whole bandwagon yet. Well, I think maybe Sherry is a little bit. I'm not sure, depending on because this is some real cringe here. But we're gonna check that out for another day. Anyways, it's time to close all this up, and I'm not good at outros at all or saying goodbyes. But I appreciate you guys for keeping me company tonight and talking to me in the chat and just coming along for the ride, because it's fucking painful to sit through these, and it's very frustrating and it's angering. But it's a little easier knowing that, like, there are other people who feel this way. There are other people who aren't, you know, so fucking deep in the propaganda that, you know, they can see this for what it is. So, and we're making a lot of fucking progress. Like, we are at the precipice. We are at a huge watershed moment. It's happening. I'm seeing blue check marks call these motherfuckers out now. That would be like, after 4 years of being called a fucking conspiracy theorist and every fucking name in the book for doubting some of these fucking ludicrous stories, people are fucking waking up, and it's happening very, very, very quickly. Frankly, it's nice to see. it kind of feels like some of the like I can it it kind of makes me feel like I can sometimes I can take a little break from the defectors because I know a lot of other people are finally paying attention to this. Yeah, thank you guys for coming, and I will see you guys again next time, which probably will be very, very soon. Either like I would expect another stream in the next 72 hours, but thank you guys again. Try to have a lovely evening. I'm not your mother, but don't stay up too late. And yeah, all right. Thank you guys. Have a good evening. Bye bye for now. Oh. Do you ever think the American public will stop believing the propaganda, and when? Okay. I mean, damn, that's a hard question. It's a loaded question. I think that we are on. Okay. If you want my personal feelings, I think that when I say that we are on the precipice of a watershed moment, I think that very soon is going to be even. A lot of this rhetoric and like discussions are going to enter the mainstream, and I think that we're going to be able to have a lot more of the. I hate to even call them progressive, but the American progressive movement. I think that we're going to have that is fertile ground for awakening people and engaging with them sincerely and trying to like help them see these things for what they are. And I think that especially with what's going on in regards to a lot of the other countries, like Cuba, for instance, a lot of people are waking up to these issues, and I think the more that we try to show like the interconnections between like the struggles of the Cuban people, and for just as an example, the struggles of the Cuban people and the struggles of the Korean people, I think that more people will begin to start to rethink these issues a little bit. Obviously, providing historical context is super important. Like I know I did a podcast forever and ever ago on Pearls of the Round Table. And I spent the entire episode just going through a little Korean history, and I still get messages telling people about how like that was like a huge moment in their understanding of the DPRK. Like just having having the historical context is so key to understanding these issues, and that's why videos like Anthony Padilla's, where the entire video is just propaganda. It's just anecdotes and talking about pleasure squads and camps and surveillance, and it's they choose what they show their audiences, and it's telling when they leave out the history and leave out the context for any of these issues. Even if you're anti-DPRK, it's very telling when you make sure that your audience is totally in the dark on the history side of things. But do I think that the American public will stop believing the propaganda? It would just be speculation on my part, really. Again, I think that we are on the precipice of a huge new demographic of people being exposed to this kind of rhetoric and information. America is very weird because, I mean, during the Trump presidency, there were a lot of conservatives who were saying like weirdly pro-DPRK things, like supporting peace and reunification because it would benefit Trump politically. But now that it's Biden, and back then, I mean, Biden and Democrats were fucking calling for nuclear strikes on the DPRK and saying that, oh, Trump is a fucking stooge of the DPRK and he's just a fucking puppet. And if he makes any deal with the DPRK, he's just fucking. It's a major historical foreign policy loss of the United States. Meanwhile, it was just revealed, it's been reported at least, that there's not going to be that much of a policy difference between Trump and Biden, and that I even read that there is actually potential for another DPRK U.S. summit. I don't know about that. The idea of Joe Biden and Kim Jong-un meeting sounds. Well, I don't know. I was gonna say it sounds completely ludicrous, but I have to say, I'm sure it was also pretty fucking ludicrous or like seeming for them to meet after Trump literally like threatened the fire and fury comments on the DPRK. So I think anything could happen, and it's very difficult to speculate and predict what's going to happen next. But I think that a lot of people are going to be awakened to this. But as far as the general public, I mean, the general American public is they're. I mean, they're forced into political apathy. I mean, that's like a function of the system. Okay, bye-bye. Like, I don't think that the American public will ever be, well, under this system, I don't think that there's going to be a huge, like, a moment where, like, the majority of Americans suddenly awaken on these issues, but, yeah. Maybe someday when this regime, this empire is gone, maybe someday there'll be, I don't know, it sounds like a dream. It sounds like a dream now, but maybe someday, and I don't know if that's 10 years from now, 50 years from now, beyond our lifetimes. You never know. Anything can happen. What's that thing that what's that old that quote? I think it was, things can happen just so quickly. Like, things can change on a dime at any moment. Yeah. Okay. I think that's about as good as I can answer that question. Point is, it's hard to predict these things. I don't think that the American public is going to be persuaded completely, but we might at least make a huge dent with progressives in this country, and those are, I think, one of the most important, like, target demos for us at this point. That is the quote that I was the one attributed to Lenin. It's something like there are, I can't even. It's some there are days when years have, or something like that. You know what I'm talking about. I can't quote it, unfortunately, directly. But things can snowball very, very quickly. Is the point of the quote? But yeah. Thank you guys for staying with me so long, and I appreciate your company, and I hope you guys have a lovely night. And oh yes, that is the quote. There we go. There are decades where months happen, and months where decades happen. Yes. There we go. So, I personally, I always try to be a little optimistic. So, I think we should work and hope. Thinking that it's that we're right on the precipice of it. Never stop, never give up. Keep the revolutionary faith to the death. Always. Because without faith in the revolution, if you're gonna be a defeatist, you're already declaring, you're already waving the white flag. So I have faith that even if it's not in my lifetime, this cause is going to succeed. It's inevitable. It's inevitability of history. And okay, so thank you guys for coming. I'm gonna go to bed now, and you guys have a lovely evening. And thank you guys for coming, or coming along with me on this little ride. All right, bye, y'all.